Welcome. In this video, we're going to explore the value conversation. You see, price is inextricably linked with the sales process. We can't get away from that. Price and selling are very much very similar. Pricing is a part of the sales process. And so what that means is that we have to understand the key stages of the sales process from a pricing point of view. There are two big mistakes that I've seen made in the profession. The first one is relatively new in the last decade or so, but it's becoming an increasing mistake. And that is publishing prices on a website. It's got to stop because we're not selling commodities. We are a service industry. We should be selling high value. I see so many mistakes with people's pricing on a website. That needs to stop. But here's the other one, and this is probably even more common. Probably every accounting firm, every bookkeeper probably at some point in time has done this mistake. I did myself when I was running my accounting firm, which I started way back in 1996. For the first few years, I did this as well, and that's sending proposals through the post or through the mail. This is how I would do it. In the early part of my practice, as I was building it up, I would meet lots of potential clients and I would have the conversation with them where I would talk about what I could do, how I could help them. And I was pretty good at that because I came from a tax background. I explained tax planning to them, how they could save money and so on. And very often, as the conversation unfolded, I could feel it was going well. And they would say, yes, this sounds awesome. This is exactly the sort of thing that we want. And then I'd get the dreaded question that I would hate, which is, so Mark, how much will this cost us? And I'd break out in a sweat and panic. So I'd say, oh, good question. Let me think about that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the office and I'm going to send you a proposal. And I'll then send that through the mail to you, through the post. These days it might be the email. Huge mistake. We must stop doing that, because what happens is when we send our price through the mail, through the post, by email, in a proposal, we have lost control of the process. You see, if we think about it, when was the last time you asked for a proposal or a quote? Think about, you might have asked for decorators to give you quotes because you want to decorate and paint your house, or perhaps a landscape gardener. When you get a proposal or quote, what is the first thing you look for? I know what it is. You look for the price. Everybody does. And your clients are no different. It doesn't matter how fancy and detailed your proposal is, they'll go scanning through it to find that price. And when they see that price, they'll make an instant judgment about the number. Usually, that's more than I was expecting. And because you're not with them at that point in time, you've lost control. That's why very often you do not hear back from people. They never pick up the phone, come to you and say, yeah, we've got your proposal, let's start. It rarely happens. So it's a big mistake. Remember, pricing is an integral part of the sales process. And so we have to discuss price with the client. That's if you want the right prices, that's what you must do. So let's look at the stages of the conversation. And there are three key stages. The first thing that you should be doing in every pricing conversation is uncover the value. And we do that by asking questions. We ask questions of the client to understand what it is that they want out of their life. What do they want out of their business? What are their goals in life? What are their challenges? What's their pain? What are the problems they're facing right now? We want to uncover and start to understand what's important to them, and therefore what it is that they value. Now, once we've done that, once we've understood what they want, we can then create something, a solution that meets their specific needs. And you may well have a second meeting then for phase 2, which is a great thing to do if it's a potential new client or a big project. Once you've got your solution, you then build the value. We go through a process using particular structures, systems, communication to build up the value of what we do. Our goal here is to help the client to understand what we do, to see the value of what we do, so that when we then reveal our price, they are willing to pay it because they see the value of our solution. And then in the third stage, we capture the value. And what this means is that we get a price that reflects the value. In other words, the more that we add value to the client, the more that we explain that value in phase 2 as we build up the value, the more we explain the value, the more the client understands the value, then quite rightly, the higher the price should be. And one of the things I love about value pricing is it's a win-win situation. Both parties win. The more the client gets, the more value the client gets, the more we also get because we get better prices, make more profit, generate more income. It's as simple as that. It's a fairer way of pricing. Both parties are on the same side of the table wanting the same thing. More value, better prices. So that's the process. Now in this video training, we're going to focus on the third step, capturing the value. We're not going to look at uncovering and building the value. They're outside the scope of this particular training program, although there will be times where I will refer to it occasionally. If you want to master uncovering the value, if you want to master building the value, then check out some of my other video training, or even better still, I mentor accountants and bookkeepers every single month in groups. If you would like to be part of my mentoring group, reach out to me and I'll share with you some details of how you can join the group, and I'll work with you every month, help you to get higher prices, better results. But what we're going to focus on for the rest of this course is the one that most people find the hardest, which is number 3. How do we capture the value? How do we come up with a price and present that price in a way that reflects the value, not the time that we spend, but the value to the customer, despite the fact we have those challenges that value is subjective. We can't touch it and feel it and measure it. Every client values things differently. What we sell is a complex service. Despite those complications of value pricing, how can we systematically create a system to capture that value? In the next video, I'm going to share with you the concept of optimal pricing. And this is something that if you understand this, when you understand it, this is going to change everything about the way that you approach pricing. I will see you on that video.